just one of those things that happen. Have a tie rod break early in the race. Now, no fault of anybody's, but the steering is cockeyed about, I don't know, 10 to 15 degrees to the left, but they did a good job. They eyeballed it. Car's pretty good. You know, if we get a long yellow, we could try to fix it, but right now we're just fighting hard. We're gonna never give up, keep fighting. So, got a long race to go.
5 laps still down. You just changed brake pads. And by the way, good news for you, they now have a new left side mirror.
That is true. That, as I went knocking off signboards and everything, mirror came off, which you never really think is that important until you start having to pass people on the inside on the left. So we're getting it fixed, man. These guys never give up. They fight hard. I love this race team. I love Mike Shank. He's into it. His hair's still looking good. So we got a long time to go. We're gonna have some fun. We'll get back and win this thing.
And AJ, Bob is hashtagging on Twitter, never give up, in case he forgets, because he is a race car driver, so sometimes he might, forget a little bit. He also has it tattooed on his shoulder, never give up.
Yeah, I don't want to ask. Matt found that.
He actually offered that up on his own.
Oh, okay.
You show him yours?
Come on, are you
Stick
kidding me?
with that story. Stick with it. James Hinchcliffe, IZOD IndyCar driver, is still with us. James, how much racing have you done? Sharing a car with a roof over your head, driving at night, and so on.
Not a whole lot, if I'm honest. I did the Rolex 24 with the Speed Source guys in the RX-8 last year. And before that, I had done the July race here in a Daytona prototype with AIM Autosport. It was our first ever race actually in Grand Am, driving with Mark Wilkins. And before that, I did it was actually an ST race in Grand Am with Speed Source and RX-8 back in 2005. So it's not much experience, and it was spread over a pretty long period of time.
This battle up front is heating up. Dorsey Montoya wants to lead in the biggest way. He got a run on DL, went to the outside, was trying to do one of his classic around the outside down in turn 1. DL was having none of that. And Angelelli is there as well. This could get ugly in a moment.
Yeah, I think that woke up Angelelli, because when he saw that happen, he said, okay, I'm going to get up here tighter in case something happens, I can get through.
I believe it was 2008 when these guys had a tremendous battle. Ryan DL in the Star Works entry, and Juan Pablo, of course, driving for Ganassi that year as well. See how they stack up here. This is like a dyno test right here on these high banks.
That's exactly what I was about to say, too. I want to see who can pull the top end here.
Ganassi always likes to run these cars here at Daytona super trimmed out. There's some minimums that you have to run now with these DP chassis, whether it's a Riley or the Corvette body. But even so, they try and minimize that. Gives you a little bit of fuel efficiency. And they know that to win this race, you've got to have straightaway speed.
Yeah, Calvin, you're talking about them running trimmed out here during that caution. Juan Pablo Montoya and Tim Keen talking on the radio back and forth about his thoughts on the car, and that's exactly what he was telling Tim. He said that he was thinking tomorrow they might need to add a bit of downforce, because right now in traffic he's had the cars a little bit too trimmed out. Also thought the brake package, it was a little bit too hard of brakes. He wanted something to give you a little bit more aggressive. You see Montoya right now going around the outside of DL. So already talking about potentially having to make some changes to that car to be a little bit more racy tomorrow. And as this battle going back and forth, Tim Keen on the radio reminding Juan, hey, we've got 17 hours to go. Be patient.
Yeah, but Juan's doing what he likes to do best, go wheel to wheel.
This is exactly what Brian Till and I spoke to Timmy Keen about the other day. We said, you put Juan Pablo Montoya in the championship car. What do you think? And he said, I can handle Juan. You just got to talk to him. But when he gets there in a battle like this, I wonder if he just turns that radio down.
He probably just unplugs it.
Yeah. Dorsey and I have been out of the saddle for a long time here, so it's easy for us to sit here and watch this. But for you, is it tough to be here watching this stuff going on?
It's gutting, man. You know, it's this race is so much fun, and like I said, I had the chance to do it for the first time last year with the Speed Source crew, and especially when you do it with a good group of guys. You know, Sylvain Tremblay, Jonathan Bomarito. What's been dubbed is, if you follow either one of us on Twitter, you know that Marino Franchitti is basically my stepbrother. The way the two of us get along, but it's been great. Oh, action here.
Around goes the long 69.
Bad spot to be stuck, too, right there. Easy to get tagged there.
I wonder if he got turned.
Yeah, you do have to win it, because it doesn't make many mistakes. Makes pretty solid.
Now.
Spotter gives him the okay.
don't see any damage on the car at the rear.
Gotta be careful when the tires are hot like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to burn down the clutch or anything too crazy.
Oh, yeah, he did get help.
Turned by
Brumos
59.
portion. Got
Andrew
into the side of
Davis.
it.
Pretty late in the corner.
It was, yeah. I thought he'd slowed because he had seen Davis coming up the inside. Watching all of this contact, James, what do the guys who run your day job think of you coming out to do something like this?
Well, luckily they love it. There's one thing I'm allowed to do. It's get into anything with 4 wheels and a steering wheel. You know, that anytime you're driving something that's keeping you sharp. I was actually doing a go-kart race last weekend in Palm Beach, just because we have so few test days in IndyCar this season. So I decided to get back to my roots and drive my girlfriend out to a go-kart race, which was a first for her, and that was a bit of a different experience. But no, it's great.
Let's take another look down in turn 1 now.
Now, who didn't know this was going to happen sooner or later?
Montoya keeps trying the outside line, and Ryan's not going to have that happen. I mean, as a driver, there's an ego thing, I think, that kicks in. You do not want to be passed on the outside line. So he just takes it in there real deep. There goes Montoya. He's got that little bit of extra straightaway speed. A little pop here. Half a car length. And you can try and float it around the outside. If the car in front of you doesn't have good tires, sometimes you can pull it off. But Ryan's an equal match right now.
Well, Calvin, you said it before. I mean, I don't think they did either. But that Ganassi car is trimmed out and it's pulling off from another 5 mile an hour at the top end. But then he's got to get on the brakes earlier, and Ryan's got the downforce to make that inside move.
That's right, but we know Montoya's got incredible car control, and he can drive a car on the edge like this.
How many moves in Formula One did we see him make that we didn't think would stick?
Oh my gosh! I mean, he wasn't in the sport for 5 minutes before he was locking wheels with Michael Schumacher.
I remember hearing stories when he went to the Speedway for the first time, and he was driving the car loose around that place and just amazing everyone. I've never done a hitch, but that's got to be a wild ride. Normally you hit the pits, right? And just give me a bit more rear wing.
There's a pretty golden rule at Indianapolis. As soon as there's any correction, you crack the throttle and you come in. But sometimes discretion does not get the better part of valor. And some guys like Juan Montoya can pull it off. And guys like A.J. Foyt could pull it off. Mario Andretti could pull it off. It's a short list of guys that can drive a car loose around the speedway.
And I think that was the secret of Montoya's success in the Indy 500. That, and he is so good on cold tires. And of course, that's all about car control
and confidence. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of you know what to be able to do that, and he's got plenty of those.
He's got both those in spades. But it's weird you brought up egos earlier. I didn't think racing drivers had egos. I didn't want to step in there, but it's I had to bring that up. I just don't know if I agree with that.
One thing to be able to break down the inside, but when someone does it to you around the outside, that kind of.
Look at him setting him up right now. I mean, he knows he's going to pull on him. There's no question about it. When they come off the turn 4, that thing just starts digging.
Ford power against BMW.
All of these engines now have 7,000 RPM, so the Fords have been dropped from 7,300 last year down to 7. Chevys have been brought up 100 to 7. And there was some other performance balancing with the Chevys getting a bit of a restrictor, which was reduced somewhat before the green flag here today. Here comes Montoya again. He's not quite as far alongside.
Angelelli's hanging with him, too. He went to part
exactly what I was thinking. They haven't lost Mad Max Angelelli. Max the Axe, I should say. Mad Max Pappas is driving a GT Ferrari here. We haven't called his number out yet, but for sure we will see him before it's over. We'll be back with more from Rolex 24.